Hello, beautiful people. My name is Janice, and I am back. Well, this time I'm back with a little microphone. So it's official tissue. But I really wanted to make this video because, well, for one, I started this channel, and I started it because I feel like I've had so many life experiences that I can really relate to a lot of people. Like, I've been in the military, so I know what it's like to transition out. I grew up in the hood. I've been in toxic relationships. I've been on a spiritual journey. I've gone through childhood traumas. I've gone through a little bit of everything. I got married at a young age. I got divorced at a young age. Um, so I feel like there's something within my story that can relate to you in some way. And I really just want to share my story. I want to share my wisdom. I want to share um my intuitive, messages that I get through me. And I just want to share like whatever's on my mind because I feel like there is so much power in vulnerability. And that's really one of the things that I want to drive is vulnerability, is like having these conversations that may be difficult, but that could really help someone just simply by just sharing your voice, sharing your story, sharing your testimony. So, you know, I'm gonna do it. And honestly, I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about. I didn't even plan it out because I want it to be authentic. I want, a message to just flow right out of me. Um, so yeah, so this is my first time recording a video. Well, actually, my second time, but this is the first time that I'm actually like, all right, we're sitting down, we're setting up the camera, we got the microphone, let's go. So, what comes to me is that we are all experiencing life in very different perspectives. But we're all essentially going through the same journey. We're all learning a lesson in some way, in some shape, in some form. And no one's lesson is greater than yours. No one's life is more important than yours. No one's trauma is more traumatic than yours. And I say that, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of wrong things that happen in this world and to people, but there's no comparison because you do not know what someone has gone through emotionally. You may have gone through something and someone went through something completely different. And to you, it's like, oh, that's nothing. Like this, that, and the third happened to me. But what that does is that divides us. Because in the end, all we want is to feel loved and support. That's it. All we want is to feel loved. And the crazy thing is, it's not even crazy. But this was actually something that really came to me um, recently within my journey. Is that love is already inside of you. Did you know that? It is already inside of you. And I have been in the past a person who tried to look for that love outside of me. I looked for it outside of me and then I wondered why I couldn't find it. Because I would get into relationships that didn't serve my highest and best good. Relationships that didn't empower me, relationships that weren't healthy for me. And it was because I was searching for something that was already inside of me. So, if you are someone who you are in an unhealthy relationship, or you've never had a an example of what healthy love is, the best thing that you can do. And you know what? I'm not going to let me pump the brakes because I don't know what's best for you. I'm going to be real. I do not know what's best for you. I can only share my experience and I can only share what I've gone through. But for me personally, the best thing I did was to really analyze myself, to really analyze my unhealthy behaviors and the things that I had experienced in childhood and my perception of love growing up, how my relationship with my father affected my relationships with men, or my relationship with my mother, my stepfather, and how that played into my adulthood relationships. Because it's that deep, y'all. It is that deep. It is that deep. And most of us don't take the time to analyze ourselves. And it's not that you have to be your own critic. It's that you have to understand who you are at your core so that you can know of the limiting beliefs and the traumas and those stuck and stagnant emotions within you that are deeply rooted into your being that are actually affecting you, whether subconsciously or consciously. It's called shadow work, y'all, and it's heavy. It is not for the weak, okay? It is not for the weak. You gotta go in deep. But that's where you learn a lot about yourself, which is dope because once you know all this stuff about you, then you're powerful. You're powerful because you know what it is you need to work on. Nothing's worse than feeling like you want to develop yourself and not digging into you to know what it is that you need to develop. You know what I mean? Like you should know yourself deeply. And that requires you to look in the past. It requires you to, just analyze your upbringing. Because they say, give me the first year. I'm sorry. Give me the first 7 years of the child, and I'll show you the man. The first 7 years has conditioned you, has imprinted this programming into your mind. And now you subconsciously live your life off of it. So if you were a child who was abused, if you were neglected in any way, if you grew up in poverty, these are all things that affect you in adulthood because they've created a system of beliefs. And if you don't look at those beliefs, if you don't challenge them, if you don't rewire them, then you keep repeating them because you've normalized it. So our brains are essentially a computer system. And at the very beginning of your life, the first 7 years, that computer system gets wired in a certain way. And it gets wired because of the state of consciousness that you're in. And this state of consciousness is a state where everything that you have been said has, I'm sorry, everything that has been said to you, everything that you have watched, everything that you have experienced, everything that you have felt emotionally becomes embedded in your brain. It becomes embedded in your brain, which means that we are actually all children. We are still children because we're living our lives based on the first 7 years. And it is not until we rewire that programming or we update, we reboot that programming that we really step into our authenticity. Because when we're young kids, we're fearless. We're our true selves. We do what we want. We are expressive and we're out there and we know what we like. We know what we love. And we have zero fear. But then some of us go through things. Some of us go through trauma. Some of us go through hardships. Some of us grew up in messed up homes. You know, there are children who have been abused. They're physically, mentally, emotionally. There are children who have been talked down to. You know, there's a lot of things that you could have experienced. But those things, if you don't take an honest, objective look at them, could be the basis and the foundation of some of the issues that you may have in adulthood, such as low self-esteem, such as lack of confidence, such as an inability to really put yourself out there because of fear. And it is so deeply rooted, guys, because our minds are computer systems. And if we don't feed our mind what we wish it to become, then we continuously live in the past without even knowing it. So essentially, every single day you are doing self-hypnosis on yourself based on the music you listen to, based on the movies you watch, based on the news you watch, based on what you tell yourself, how you speak to others. These are all things that your mind also records as well. So if you're not mindful of what you're listening to, of what you're watching, you're not mindful of its effect, then you could be very well, impacting your energy without even knowing it. So for me personally, I wanted to get out of a place of feeling low. So I just started being more mindful of the music I listen to. I stopped listening to things that were low in vibration. I started listening to more upbeat, positive music, like music that made me feel good because I wanted to feel good. I stopped watching shows and movies that didn't make me feel good. And I started writing affirmations. So these affirmations are a way to really program your mind to just think more positively. And the I am is so powerful because anything that you say after I am, you become. So taking out a sheet of paper and simply writing, I am successful. I am beautiful. I am loved. I am creative. I am fearless. That does something to you at your core. Because have you ever taken the time to even say those things about yourself? And if you haven't, why? Why? It's not too late to start. Literally, it'll make you feel good. As soon as you wake up in the morning, take out a sheet of paper, write I am, anything and everything that you want to manifest, you write it on that paper. And it's going to make you feel amazing, I'm telling you. But you got to do it consistently. Also do it at night. And there's also I am affirmations on YouTube. If you don't want to write, then you can listen to it. Again, it's a way to like reprogram your mind again. So that's just something very simple that I had started to make me feel a little bit better because I was analyzing my childhood and I was analyzing my past relationships and all the traumas that I experienced. And I said, you know what? Like, I don't want that to be part of my story no more. I want to understand it. I want to feel it. I want to release it. But now, how do I restructure it? And the restructuring is in what you tell yourself. The restructuring is in what it is that you want to be, what it is that you want to become, and saying it in a way where you are already there. And that's where the affirmations come in handy. So I hope this has touched someone in some way. I hope it's helped someone in some way. Yeah, that just flowed out. It just flowed out. So if that message was for you, I hope it was everything that you needed. But thank you so much for watching this video. There's going to be more to come. So if you can like and subscribe, I would appreciate you. If you can share, do me that favor. And I hope y'all have a beautiful day, afternoon, morning, night, whenever you're watching this. And stay tuned for the next video.